Yes.
your name, and do spell the first and last.
Sure.
And then your title.
Okay. My name is Jacqueline Bober, Jacqueline Bober, and I am the Director of Municipal Museums for the City of Lubbock.
Perfect. All right. Jacqueline, you've been with the museum for a long time, and kind of the neat thing is it continues to evolve, right? I mean, it seems like you're always adding something out here, which is good, right? If you've been here before, you need to come again.
Absolutely. We try to. Every once in a while, we'll change out some artifacts in the Buddy Holly Gallery. We rest some paper pieces, pull out some new things, some clothing articles, just to give our visitors who return frequently something new to look at. And then in our fine art gallery, those exhibitions change out every 6 to 8 weeks. So there's always something new and exciting to see down there.
And you've got so many different areas that we wanted to talk about. So let's start with the Allison House. Tell us about that.
The J.I. Allison House is situated just outside the entrance of the museum. It was repositioned here in 2010. It is the boyhood home of Buddy's bandmate and drummer, Jerry Allison. When the city acquired the house, it happened when the Overton project was starting, where they removed some of that housing to redevelop that area. And someone in the neighborhood knew whose house that was and asked the city to salvage it. It sat up on Municipal Hill for a number of years, and then it was brought here when the West Texas Home Builders Association and many other community partners came together to make the renovation of it complete. We opened the house to the public for tours sometime after that. J.I. was here for the ribbon cutting along with Joby Malden and Sonny Curtis, who played with him in the Crickets band after Buddy's passing.
Yeah, yeah.
And so when visitors come to the center and they pay their admission to visit the Buddy Holly galleries, they're also able to take advantage of tours that we give, guided tours that we give out in the house 3 times a day, Tuesday through Saturday, and then once on Sundays.
So when you can come as an individual or go around or take a tour. You have an option? Is that right?
Tours are usually scheduled for larger groups, and those groups give us some advance notice if they want it to be a guided tour. But for the most part, visitors here are able to enjoy a self-guided tour. And staff is always available to answer any questions that they have, to give them directions to other places in the Lubbock community that are significant to Buddy Holly's story, and also to the music scene down here in the Depot District.
Now tell us about what we're in right now, this whole area.
Sure, we are in the main Buddy Holly Gallery. Behind me you see the music timeline, but we also have a biographical timeline here in the gallery, and this is where you will find most all of the artifacts that we have on exhibition that are related to Buddy's life. You'll see several of his guitars. You'll see the motorcycle, which is on loan to us. He purchased that in 1958, early 1958, and was able to enjoy it for a while. You'll see some of his gold records and some clothing that he wore on stage. You'll see marbles that he played with as a child, and pieces of leather that he tooled because that was something he enjoyed. He made guitar straps and belts and wallets for friends. So there are a lot of different artifacts in this collection to take advantage of.
And there's also a video that you can watch to actually see Buddy, hear Buddy, right?
Absolutely. We invite visitors to start off in our theater, which presents about a 15-minute documentary on Buddy's life and his musical career. In that video, you'll see many individuals who sort of credit Buddy for getting them started in music. Paul McCartney, Bob Dylan, Don McLean. You will also hear from his bandmates, from J.I. Allison and Sonny Curtis. You'll hear from his older brothers, Larry Holly and Travis Holly. So it gives you a nice picture of the Buddy that grew up here in Lubbock and then went on to international stardom.
Yeah. After working here, and you've told me before, 15 years that you've
Yes,
been
sir.
here?
Almost.
You feel like you know Buddy pretty well?
I feel like know him well. Yes. Yeah. I mean, he unfortunately did not live very long. The artifacts that we have are limited. When one only lives 22 years, it's not like you have a lifetime of personal, possessions that you have collected. But I sense that I know the Buddy as a boy from talking to his brothers, and that was probably the most amazing part of working here, is being able to talk to family members who grew up with Buddy, bandmates who played with Buddy, and to hear their stories, the fun ones and the musical ones, the thrill that they felt performing on stage in various places around the world. It's really quite awe-inspiring and very humbling to be privy to those stories, and then to turn around and share them with our visitors as well.
What do you believe Buddy Holly means to Lubbock? And that's a very encompassing question.
Sure.
But we call him our favorite son, and we have Buddy Holly Avenue and the center. What does he mean to this community?
I think probably several things, but the thing that I try to emphasize when, particularly with younger children, when we give tours to school groups and stuff, and I want them to look at Buddy to understand that while he came from very humble beginnings, he had a dream, he had determination and drive to reach a goal, and he did. And so you can start a very simple place in life and rise to the ranks of being an international star.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really inspirational story. I mean, you mentioned earlier his life, of course, was ended much too soon.
Absolutely.
But what an inspiring life he led in a short time, right?
Absolutely. If you think about it, his professional career was all of 18 months, and within that time, he recorded well over 55 songs. He didn't let grass grow under his feet. He was constantly busy, whether it was writing music, writing lyrics, performing, making arrangements for the next, tour that they would go on. He stayed very busy in that short amount of time.
You mentioned Paul McCartney, and I know he performed in Lubbock, and it was because of his love for Buddy Holly, his admiration for Buddy Holly. And as we were visiting earlier, not only did he influence a lot of musicians in England, he still has a big following in England and overseas, doesn't he?
Absolutely. We, up until the pandemic, we would regularly hear many foreign accents in our building, most predominantly those from the UK, from Australia, from Germany and the Netherlands. There are large contingents of Buddy Holly fan clubs in those countries. And prior to the pandemic, we were beginning to welcome visitors from the Far East and as far south as Chile and Peru. So his reach is truly global. It's a big part of why we still remain viable in this community, that we have that impact, that there are people who will schedule their vacations to come to Lubbock.
Now, you get a good following from overseas, as we just talked about. However, there's still people in town, and you get a lot of people from Lubbock residents who come to visit, right?
Absolutely, and You know, there are people that will visit us who say that, you know, they've never been here, although we've been open almost 23 years now. So we are happy to welcome them. But there are people who come regularly, who come for the big event days. Buddy's birthday on September 7th. We commemorate also the day that he passed away, February 3rd. We welcome visitors on those days to visit the Buddy Holly galleries for free. There are also many other opportunities during First Friday Art Trail when visitors come to see the art exhibit that we have in our Fine Arts Gallery. They are also welcomed to partake of the Buddy Holly galleries. Those visitors who spend time with us of a Thursday evening in the summer for our showcase concert series, they too are welcomed into the center to learn something about Buddy.
So stop, even if it's in your hometown. You need to
Exactly.
You need to come out.
Absolutely.
Now, there's a couple other things we haven't mentioned. One
Excuse
is the
me.
Yeah.
You need your water.
No, I think I'm good.
You're doing great.
Okay.
I love you. Tell me about the Fine Arts Center, the Fine
Sure.
Arts Gallery.
When the city acquired the collection of Buddy Holly artifacts and memorabilia, they were also looking for a larger home for their Fine Arts Center. It used to be located in a small house on Avenue P and 26th Street. So they decided to combine the two ventures into one. And here we sit in the Buddy Holly Gallery, but our fine arts programming is situated in the historic depot portion of our building. And so visitors are welcomed at any time to visit those galleries for free.
Yeah, and then also a short trip across the street to visit the statue.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It used to be located down by our Civic Center off of Avenue Q and 8th Street. And it was moved here in 2010. I believe the plaza was redone, so when you walk across the street just west of the Buddy Holly Center, you'll see the larger-than-life statue done by Grant Speed and the wall of plaques behind Buddy that are representative of the different members who have been inducted into the West Texas Walk of Fame.
Jacqueline, we've talked about a lot of things that people can visit out here. What are you proudest of? You've been here for 15 years. Is there something that stands out to you, or just the overall feel of this place? What does it do to you?
I love the feel of this place. I love hearing the music always playing in the background when visitors are here. I love that when visitors come, they learn something they didn't know about Buddy, or we tell them a story that they had never heard before. And even those who come regularly still find something new to treasure about Buddy, whether it's something they see in an artifact or something they've read in our label copy, or some lyric they've suddenly picked up on in a song of his.
Now, we're doing the series on downtown and talking about what is downtown. You have to be one of the highlights to come visit downtown Lubbock, don't
Yes,
you?
yes. We're often described as the southern anchor of the Depot District, and we take that role very seriously. We're right off the interstate, so we hope that we're easy to find for many of our visitors, and we enjoy being down here, feeling the energy of the place. There is a lot of live music that goes on here, not only in our courtyard, but in many of the establishments down here. So it's a very vibrant place to be, and a very vibrant time now that we're coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah, I would say the music scene is alive and well in Lubbock. I mean,
Absolutely.
started by, music wasn't started by Buddy in Lubbock, but wow, his legacy has continued through the years, hasn't it?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Oh, that's good.
Super.
You're good.
Okay.
You're good.